Hello, friends, and welcome to Pour and Explore wine, food, and travel stories from around the world. I'm Nick Elliott, the Wine Guy. This is where we sip, savor, and wander through the world of wine, explore incredible food, and uncover the stories behind unforgettable destinations. Each week, you'll hear engaging conversations with wine pros, chefs, travelers, and fellow enthusiasts, plus educational episodes to help you sip smarter and explore deeper. So, grab a glass, pull up a chair, and let's pour, explore, and celebrate the good life. Let's dive in. So, picture this. You've spent months planning the trip. You've booked the flights, you've picked the hotels, and you've researched the best local wine. But then you land, and the reality of the road hits you. You're facing 60 flights of stairs in the Paris metro. You're looking at a 10-mile walk through a theme park. And suddenly you realize that the most important piece of equipment you brought isn't your suitcase, it's your body. Most travel brochures show you the flat version of a vacation, the sanitized version, the easy version. They don't tell you about the physical toll or the stamina you need to actually get off of the beaten path. Today's guest, Jolie May, learned this the hard way. Standing in the middle of the Louvre in Paris, she had a moment of truth where her lack of mobility literally stopped her in her tracks. She wasn't just a tourist, she was someone whose physical limits were keeping her from the experiences that she craved. Since then, she's completely transformed her approach to life, moving from struggle busing her travels to navigating the world with confidence. Jolie's a traveler, she's a vlogger, she's a coach who looks at travel as an athletic event. We're going to talk about why you need to quote unquote train your body and your mind for the trip, just like you would train for a marathon. We're diving into the raw realities of international travel, the stairs, the seating, the miles that go along with it, and how to handle the next meal rule so you can enjoy the local culture without sacrificing your energy. If you ever felt like your body or mindset is keeping you out of the world, this conversation is for you. Let's get into it. All right, Julie, thank you so very much for being on Pour and Explore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking about food.
In case you couldn't figure it out, it is one of my favorite subjects as well. So I appreciate you reaching out to me, and it's been great to get to know you. I want to talk a little bit. Let's start with food, shall we? I Let's dive right in. As I mentioned at the top of the show, you are a coach that is helping people change their eating habits, mainly into keto diet and the carnivore diet. How did you get into that world, and how does it connect with your own story?
So I was at a point where I was 100 pounds overweight and probably more like 100, maybe 110 pounds overweight and super struggle busing. And I was still at that time, like trying different things. I was like, I'll try intermittent fasting. I want to try being vegan for a while. I'm going to try. I was like, I was willing to freaking try just about anything just because like my mobility was so poor. In fact, one of the things that like got me on this, I've got to change something was we had gone to Paris and this was like my once in a lifetime I've gone back. But at the time we were like, I have always wanted to go to Paris and here we are. We were at the Louvre and the Louvre is gigantic. It's a huge art
Yes.
museum. And it was one of the places I always wanted to go. And I walked around just like a little bit and had to stop. Like I couldn't see 90% of it, not just because it was so big, just because like I had so much pain and I couldn't walk. And like I literally just sat down on a bench and just sat and cried. And my former spouse, ex now, walked around and finished looking at the Louvre. And I just sat there and cried. And I just went, this friggin' sucks. I never want to have an experience. My goal in life since I was little was like travel the world, see all the things. And my body was like, but you can't. Up until then, I think I've traveled a lot in the States, and the States are a lot more fluffy friendly, shall we say. I go to a theme park here or something. There, the rides are bigger. You can ride one of those little mobility scooters around. It wasn't like hampering my style yet. I was like, cool. I can still do the thing, but then I couldn't. You travel overseas, and they're like, sucks to suck, but the metro is down 60 flights of stairs. It felt like it was that far anyway. And it was like, you want to get from here to there? Good luck, buddy. They give zero F's about that over there. And so that was a big thing. And then I had a bit of a mental health crisis too, where I just didn't feel like myself. And I did a bunch of research and do looking at peer review studies. Ketogenic diets have a massively good impact on your brain health. And that was why I chose. There's a lot of things you can do to lose weight. You can calorie restrict. You can lose weight being vegan. You can lose weight doing so many different things. But it was like, I also needed to have like some really good help with mental health stuff. I have kids with mental health issues. I was struggling with like depression and really just hard anxiety at the time. My mom had just passed. And I was like, you know what? If I don't get help for this, we're going to have a bigger problem. And like I said, I did all the research. I popped on to like the strictest version of the ketogenic diet, which be carnivore, which really is. It's like meat, eggs, water. That's carnivore for meat, eggs, water. Eat 10 days into just eating that, and all of a sudden I could think super clearly again. I was like, it was like the fog lifted. I could think super clearly again. I was like, I haven't been this sharp since I was in high school. I'm remembering everything. Like, it was crazy. And the weight just fell off down 100 pounds. And now, yeah, that's what I do. I help my clients do stuff like that because it's not just the food. If it was just the food, everyone would lose weight. If it was just eat this and you'll be fine, dude, everyone would be fit.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the mindset stuff behind it. But I'm also like a trained behavior therapist and hypnotherapist, and I have background within that world.
Yeah, okay. So that definitely helps in your coaching. Everything you just said opened up 75 more questions for me, of course. That's how these things always go. You answered my question about what does eating carnivore look like. So I think I got that. And what you were talking about traveling, and I think this is apropos to the show as well, because we talk a lot about travel. I'm a big guy, and I have found exactly what you found when you were in Europe. They're, they are not necessarily weight inclusive in other countries. And yes, it's better here in the States, but it's also not great. Going to a concert, for example, is about the most comfortable thing in the world.
Yeah.
And a guy my size, person my size. So that is at top of mind for me coming in November, whether for at this episode airs, but that's been a top of mind for me and my wife together. Is a lot of walking involved, hiking involved, through vineyard, things like that, and we need to prepare ourselves for that. So we have been doing that over the last few months to basically train ourselves to be able to walk longer distances, things like that. I think it's important to say if you have coming up, you would recommend, and I'm sure that Julie would recommend as well, to start preparing for that now rather than later.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like one of the things I do is I bring entrepreneurs on trips all over the world. And one of the things is we always go to Disney World. I always have 2 or 3 trips a year that are like, okay, we're going to go to Disney World. And people are like, cool, we'll go ride some rides. And I'm like, no, it's 10 miles of walking a day
Yes.
in the heat. So if you're not used to that, let's get on a walking regimen.
Sure.
If you want to do something like that and enjoy it, so do it and enjoy it. Let's look at what that looks like beforehand because, yeah.
Yeah, let's build up some stamina. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Disney World because that goes into my next line of questioning for you. When you first reached out to me, I thought it was really fun that you frequent theme parks all over the world. I'm not a theme park person myself, but I totally get the allure of theme parks. And not only that, you love going to restaurants and theme parks,
Yes.
and you also write in your vlog or recording your well, what about the thing about the food and theme parks. So tell me where that started. That what a fun thing to do.
So if you're gonna go to a theme park and the food's gonna be expensive, you're gonna pay tourist prices there, right? You might as well get the best thing in the park. Like, why spend $20 for a chicken nug that tastes like it's been sitting out for an hour when you could have had something really amazing and delicious and flavorful and fresh just down there that was probably even $3 less. It's it's my love of food. So why did I decide to do it? Because I love food. And I always think there's better options. And when you're going and you're the one going, like you've never been before, you're not a theme parks guy. So you go walk into Disney World, you get met with 100 different options. You're just gonna go, let's go over here. It's good enough. And then you're gonna say, that was disappointing. And I don't know what you're gonna say. But you know, that's what people do. And then I'm like, "Do you know what? This could be an amazing experience. Let's make it an amazing and I wanna try all the food. I wanna try and then I know which one's the best one. I don't know. I think it's my love of food. That's why I wanna know what the best thing is. And now that I'm eating differently, I started out on carnivore. I'm more keto-ish now, so I'm more maintenance weight. There's I'm looking at it through different lenses now too. So I think people want to know when they travel, can they still eat something amazing and delicious that feels like it's part of their journey and still have something that's going to not weigh them down and feel sick later on? Is it going to support you as well? So
Right.
I'm always looking for stuff like that. So I'm like, and like, then do you ever just think to yourself, this is what I do for a living. I'm gonna travel to the best places, eat all the best food, and then tell people a picture.
That's what I think you and I get the same reaction when we tell people about our job. When I tell people that I teach about wine and I travel all over the world teaching about wine, people are like, really? That's a job? Come on. Come on. What? Why can't I be doing that? So I think it implies. I want to talk about that a little bit because I love talking about traveling and taking your lifestyle on the road. And in your case, the lifestyle, or not your entire life by any means, but a big part of your life is eating the way you eat. What are your recommendations for people who are on keto or paleo or carnivore or whatever, going out, just travel in general, and then maybe narrow it down to theme parks? What is your advice?
Yeah. I always say do your research ahead of time. Do some research ahead of time. Know what restaurants around are gonna offer something that's gonna be a lot easier to be friendly for you. Going into an Italian restaurant is generally gonna be harder because it's gonna be pasta-based everything. They need
Mhm.
something to accommodate you. Going to a steakhouse, much easier. Some things are really, frankly, just super easy. If you see a burger spot, go to the one that's gonna be the gourmet burgers that, and then you just get it without a bun, side salad, happy day. Gorgeous beef patties with amazing cheeses that are different and sauces and bacon, and I think it's pretty freaking great. But so, yeah, just know ahead of time if you're gonna go do Mexican style food, for instance. I always go with like fajitas, throw it on a salad. That's a
Mhm.
really easy thing to do. So have some of your go-to things and then think about how you can adapt it to new environment. But additionally, this is another thing too, is if I'm gonna go and travel, usually I have one or two things that I'm like, I'm in Italy. Imma probably have a a meal where it's pizza, pasta, gelato. I'm in
Yes.
Italy. That's what I'm gonna do. There's part of you that's or part of me anyway that's like, you know what? Yes, this thing where it's my lifestyle and this is what's helped support me. And I am so grateful for the mobility I have now. I'm so grateful for all the things that living this way has given me. And I'm still gonna live my life. And I'm still gonna live my life. But here's my rule. If I go and do something like that, I just had a beautiful meal. We went to San Antonio this weekend with my
Mhm.
boyfriend's parents, having a great time, beautiful meal, pina coladas, sat on the river walk, fantastic. The next meal is the most important meal because
Mhm.
that's where you go, okay, and I'm going to get back on good habits. And I still love myself enough to support my body because that's how I see a weight loss journey is because I love myself, I'm going to eat foods that support me at the highest, right?
Yeah.
And because I love myself, I'm also gonna have days where I'm like, I'm going to eat all of the things here with my family and my friends and enjoy the environment. And my very next meal is the most important one because people go, "Oh, I screwed up. Everything's over." And you can't start a diet up again until Monday. That's the law. So if it's Wednesday, on Monday, no, my rule is the next meal is the very best. That's the most important one. Enjoy it. Have your thing with your friends and your family. But you know, next meal, remember what you're doing. Remember what your goals are. Remember how that's serving you. And then because you love yourself, have that next meal be something that's going to serve you better too.
Yeah, absolutely. Really. You mentioned being in Paris recently. You mentioned Italy. I can almost guess the answer to my next question, but I'll let you answer it anyway. After being on the road and being so many places, tell us about a memorable meal, like the number one meal that you had abroad or here in the States.
I'll give you a couple.
Please.
And one was so we had gone on a cruise and girl, if I'm real, I don't even remember what port it was because I've been on a lot of them and it was in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
It'll start to get a little muddled in my mind, frankly.
yes, we do.
But we had gone to the beach. I was with this big group of friends and we're at the little bar places on the beach. And all my friends are getting like big nacho plate or whatever. And I was doing the thing where I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat something that's going to really support me today. And I asked them what they had. They had some fish. I mean, this is me going, I don't even remember what kind of fish it was, but I do remember what it looked like and what it tasted like.
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I remember thinking, this is a sacrifice meal because in the past I would have eaten those nachos and those freaking good. And I was feeling a little sorry for myself, but they bring out this fish and it was like fresh caught that morning, just beautiful butter. It was one of the best pieces of fish I have had in my entire life. And it's sitting on the beach with your friend. There's something beautiful about that.
Yeah.
Something beautiful about that. And then the first time I went to Paris, it was literally, this is so funny. It was literally our hotel breakfast was one of the best meals we had.
Okay. All right.
No, like you never think of that. You don't go the waffles at the Holiday Inn are delicious. Nobody says this. But like this hotel, we were in this little boutique hotel right by the Eiffel Tower. You could see it out of our window. And we went downstairs and it was so simple, but it was like the best of everything, the best of 10 different cheeses that you've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bakeries, that's the best. Just the little soft boiled eggs that they had just so. They had made their own yogurt that came out in just this little warmer thing that they had made the night before. Everything was organic from scratch, just from the very finest places, just this little, and it was very simple. It wasn't like an elaborate meal, but it was, I think back to that all the time. And I'm like, This is why French people don't get fat because their food is made of food and not chemicals. It was so good. It was very simple, but like the breads were just like that crunchy on the outside, and you
I do.
put the best cheeses on there. Come on. So good.
Yeah, we were just in Paris in March for 5 days, and we stayed in a beautiful hotel in Montmartre area in Paris, and I would agree that the breakfast at the hotel was absolutely outstanding. It rivaled the lunches and dinners that you had at great restaurants. It was really, and it was everything that you're talking about. It's cheese and it's cold cut, and not cold cuts that we think of. It's fluid and yeah, and fresh baguettes and freshly churned French butter, and just oh my goodness,
Yes.
totally delicious.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The very simple things, but man, they just know how to do it right.
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about your travels in general and the other things that you're doing because you've got a lot going on. I will say, I was diving deep into your background over the last few days, and let me start here. You've got a couple of great YouTube channels that people want to take a peek at. So I want to make sure that that information winds up in the show notes. So check out your YouTube channel, your great images on your Instagram, really good stuff, great advice, great pictures of you all over the world and everything. And you've got an awesome podcast. Tell us about your podcast.
The podcast is Ridiculously You, and it is stories of inspiration from like people all over the world. That's been the fun thing is being able to interview people from like Bulgaria and New Zealand and Australia and there was Poland last week, the UK this morning. And so people come on, and the entire idea is loving even the ridiculous parts of yourself. So being that going through like a healing journey or whatever your journey is, just to get to that place where I'm 49 now. And you get to this point where you're like, I don't want to be anything for anybody else but the best me. That's what I want to be. I don't want to wear a mask anywhere. I just want to be happy and be me and share stories of inspiration from all over the world. And so that's what we're about. They're such cool stories from just the most amazing people who have gone through stuff and healed and are inspiring to other people and just show how those little quirky parts of ourselves that I'm a Disney nerd who's a carnivore who does all these weird shit all over the world. And it's all good.
No, definitely. I want to talk about your newest project here in a minute, but your you've taken your coaching and blended it in to the podcast as well. You talk about healing and mindset tools a lot on your show, and hearing the feedback and the advice from your podcast guests and so on is inspirational. And of course, the touch that you put on it as well. Just really great conversation. What's a mindset shift that's been a total game changer for you and for your clients?
I'm going to say that just referring back to what I said earlier, I think
Mhm.
people really think that change happens when they're sick of something or they hate something. I'm so frustrated with this. I've got to change it. Or I'm so mad about this other thing. That's why I've got to change everything. And my mindset is, and my way of looking at things is actually you do the most change when you're in that love energy, when you just love yourself, when you decide that you're going to do something because you care about yourself and the people around you enough to make a change, then it really sticks. Because mad goes away. Mad is just, I'm mad for a minute, and then you're like, okay. And who wants to just sit in mad energy for forever and have that be your motivation? I've seen people through weight loss or whatever they want to do that are like, if I don't get this weight off, then this other thing would happen. And everything's out of kind of this mad energy. And I look at it as because I love myself, I'm going to act it.
Yeah.
But here's the real thing though, too, is your audience. And I know I did not start at a place of I loved myself yet. I was like in a place of, I would like to do better. I would love to get to that place. I don't even know if that's possible. So one of the things we do is we see where you're at and baby step up. So like where I'm at right now, it's because I love myself and I think I'm fabulous. I shall eat well tonight and I shall nourish. No, it looks like that for me. But if somebody's like just starting and they really even don't like themselves, it could look like because I'm trying to trust myself, I'm going to follow through with the thing I wanted to do tonight. And it's like time sensitive because you don't have to commit forever, but you can commit to right now. So it's that because you're trying to trust yourself, because you're trying to get to a place where you like yourself, because of those things, that's the reason we're going to choose just right now today to make a different choice. And your subconscious can go with that. It can go, oh, it needs to be true enough that your subconscious doesn't kick it out completely.
Yeah.
If you're clear down here and you go straight into, oh, I love myself, it's going to go, you do not. You are lying to me right now, and it'll kick it out and then it'll do the opposite thing. But if you can meet it where it's at and say, I'm trying to trust myself, it'll go, oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to try this thing today, right now. Okay, I'm going to commit forever. I can do today. Or maybe even the whole day is a long time and go, I can do right now. And then you can start like baby stepping your way into something with a much higher, better energy.
As the human condition, we have a tendency to start from the negative. We have a tendency to go into what's wrong with us from a negative place, whereas I completely agree with you. If you would have asked me the me of 5 years ago, if I agreed with you, I would probably say no, but the me of today absolutely does agree with there are some mindset shifts that we have to do, different ways of thinking. And I suppose you could do it on your own. I was not able to do it on my own, which is why I sought help with the shifting of mindset and so on. And I like having coaches on the show to talk about things, but I think that having someone by your side, and more importantly, having someone by your side who has gone through what you are going through as well and has come out on the other side, a different person,
Yeah.
or at least feeling differently about themselves. I would highly recommend that to everyone. There are a million coaches in the world for a reason, because people need that extra help. Whether it's a coach, whether it's a friend or a mentor or a psychologist, whatever is going to help you the most, I think that's the way to go. And I would highly recommend that. And I would imagine you would as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely been key points in my life where I had just the right coach, just at the right time to help me
Mhm.
get up and grow through that thing. And I'm like, I don't know if I could have done it all on my own. I don't know because I hadn't. So I'm going to guess not.
Yeah.
I had tried a million things and haven't. Oh, likely that it's just that having somebody have an outside perspective too. Because a lot of times when you're in it, you can't see the whole picture. You can't see what's affecting you. You can't see all those outside forces, and having somebody just from the outside that can be your steady, that can be your go-to, that has some tools to help you through those rough moments, man, it could mean everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And if you're able to find that person to help you through your struggles, your mindset shifts, issues, probably whatever you want to call them, let's call them opportunities for change, if you will. Let's do that and take it to the next step. Because, like I said, we tend to get stuck in negativity, and we don't have to be there. We don't have to be there. I absolutely agree with that. Again, the wine guy 5 years ago may not have agreed with that. You might have thought that mindset, woo, all of that stuff. It's it works. It works. It
Oh,
absolutely
me
does.
10 years ago would have told you it was bull crap.
Yeah.
The people I heard 10 years ago, which is how I have created what I've created, went straight from "you're doing terrible" to "you have to think, say these empowering messages," and my brain automatically went, "This is life. This is stupid. I hate it.
Yes.
Why are they making me feel worse about myself? Because I know that's not true." That's what my mindset was at a time, and it was too big of a leap. So me 10 years ago would have told you it was bullshit until I figured, oh, you got to meet the person where they're at. We got to create safety. Your subconscious needs safety. It needs safety, and then it needs like a big enough shift to make a difference in change of behavior, but not so big that it's going to fall off the planet and feel like crying in the corner. So that's another thing a coach can help you with, because a jump for me is going to be different than a jump for you. It's going to be different. Like we all have these different levels of stretchy that feel like we can do it without being too much, and a coach can help you with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk on your show about the rules that we follow, right, in our lives. And if people are questioning the rules, finding someone to help you redefine what those rules are, I, I think is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, absolutely. And you need a place to begin that journey. So I think that's an awesome segue into talking about something that you just launched recently. You have a program put out there in the last few weeks, and I would love for you to tell the listeners about the Ridiculously You Women's Society.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. The Ridiculous Women Society. It's this giant encompassing thing. So, like putting it into words of, okay, I'm calling it like a rebellion against invisibility for women. But really, what it's about is coming together and having community, having people encourage you and lift you up, and being there for you when the times are hard from all different places. But additionally, it's got like all of my coaching in there. It has a whole segment that's just healthy eating and not just here's the things to eat, which it does do that. But it also has all the mindset behind it. In fact, we've created these custom AI agents that will go in, and it has all of my mindset coaching, all of the recipe hacks, all of that. And you can just be like, here's what I'm feeling today. And it'll give you all kinds of feedback that's all in my voice. And it'll be, here's my goals, and here's where I'm at, and here's what I don't want to eat. And it'll create custom like meal plans, and here's how you go to the grocery store. It has everything like that in there. Abundance tools in there that are AI agents that are like me, has over 65 recorded training. It is like all of the things that you would want to know about to really come through a healing journey and be like, okay, my body feels good. My brain feels good. I've got community. I can go out and express myself and live the life I want to lead. That's what it's about.
Amazing. Amazing. So if someone wanted to learn more about this newer program, where do they get?
They would go to ridiculouslyu.com/women. And we have a 7-day free trial. There's not even a coupon code. If they just go in, there's a 7-day free trial available for them. So they can come in, they can check it out in a really safe, easy way, see all the cool trainings, check it out. And we're hoping to see a lot of people in there. The response has been phenomenal so far. People are really catching the vision of what we're trying to do here. And I think that this last little while, these last few years, there's been going back to that angry energy. There's been a lot of separateness. There's been a lot of angry. It's been a lot of us versus them. And this is my way of saying, let's find commonality. Let's find sisterhood. Let's find a way to connect with each other. The human being needs connection. Like we need more connection. We need more love. We need more seeing each other and being okay with somebody being different than us.
We are going to make sure that information is in the show notes for the listeners so they can come visit you hopefully. Just stop listening right now. Hit pause and go over Julie's right now. Find that in the show notes. All right. Anyway, now we're back. Now we're back, everybody. All right. We're going to jump right into the lightning round with my awesome guest. Yeah, Julie May is with us today. She is a vlogger, a world traveler, a food lover, and I'm so excited to have you on this show. Let's jump into the lightning round. First food you crave after a long trip.
First food, I'm home now, and
You're home and you have to have what?
Buddy's Burgers.
Buddy's Burgers.
They're so good.
Where's Buddy's Burgers?
In Round Rock, Texas. We're like half a mile from my house. We were saying this morning, we're like, we should walk that. But they're burger patties. They are like way more deliciously seasoned. It's cooked just so. The cheese is amazing. Everything there is just like the best. Buddy's Burgers.
You heard it. Buddy's Burgers, Round Rock, Texas, everybody. Your favorite theme park ride. There's no hesitation to go on what?
Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot.
Fantastic. Coffee, tea, or something stronger?
Tea usually, and it depends on something stronger, how I'm feeling that day. If I'm going to go in and have, we would call it a spicy drink. With my current eating plan, I'm usually a like rum and Diet Coke or rum and Coke Zero kind of a gal. If I'm just drinking anything, I love a good mojito.
Fantastic. You use the word ridiculous a lot. What's one ridiculous thing about Julie that you absolutely love about yourself?
I love my energy, and this hasn't always been this way. Like in high school, I was probably like the wallflower. I was like voted most likely to ... who's Julie? I don't know who that. I don't know, and it wasn't like that I didn't have friends. It was just that I just wasn't. I think I was too scared to be me, and so I really just like that I'm happy. I like that I make other people happy. I like my energy. Yeah.
Perfect. When you think about travel, what is at the top of your bucket list?
Greece. I haven't been to Greece.
Sweet.
Yeah, New Zealand is up there. New Zealand sounds amazing.
Yes, I can't wait to get to New Zealand.
Singapore would be good. Yeah.
Love it. And finally, this show is called Pour and Explore. Someone just said pour and explore to you. What does that bring up? What does that mean to you?
To me, when I hear it, like, I think that's why I was intrigued. I was like, I do picture myself with a nice glass of wine, just out exploring the world. They're like going on the Camino, and that's another thing I want to do. I want to walk the Camino in Spain.
Yes.
I imagine like amazing people all around the world having a nice drink, and to me, that sounds pretty damn fabulous.
I couldn't agree more. Julie, thank you so very much for being on the show today. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It has been an honor and a pleasure. So fabulous. I can't wait to share this with all my people too.
Wonderful. It is really easy to forget that travel is a full body experience. When we talk about getting your boots in the dirt, it implies that you have the mobility and the wherewithal to get there and actually do it. Julie's story is a powerful reminder that preparing your body and your mind for the journey is just as important as packing your bags. It's about empowerment, giving yourself the physical freedom to say yes to that hidden alleyway or that steep vineyard trek. I love her next meal rule because it removes the guilt from the table. Whether you're in a theme park or a five-star restaurant in Singapore, you are the authority of your own experience. Don't let a negative thought or a bad physical day stop you from finding the soul of a destination. So if you want more of Julie's street smart advice on navigating travel, theme parks, and mindset, check her out at ridiculouslyu.com. And you'll find more of her awesomeness on social media, of course. So make sure you check out the show notes for getting in touch. She's doing incredible work helping people regain their visibility and their mobility so they can get back to what matters most, exploring. Now, take a page out of Julie's book this week, if you would. Treat your next trip, even if it's just a walk to a local park, like a training session for the big world out there. Trust your instincts, trust your palates, and never stop pushing the boundaries of what you think is possible. Thanks for listening to Pour and Explore, everyone. Keep wondering and wandering. Thanks. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Pour and Explore. I'd love to hear your thoughts, love to hear your stories or questions. Drop me a message at cheers@thewineguy.vin. That's cheers@thewineguy.vin. Or let's connect on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Grab those links at thewineguy.vin. Until next time, let's keep wondering and wandering. Cheers, everybody.